Williams Stadium for a big FCS rivalry. Fourth-ranked Coastal Carolina making the trip north to visit fellow Big South power, the Flames of Liberty University. Chanticleers have already clinched a spot in the FCS playoffs along with conference champion Charleston Southern, but a win today could give Coastal an important bye through next week's first round. And along with former LSU Tiger Brian Kitchen, I'm Alex Faust. These two teams have been heated rivalries the last few years in the Big South. They've won a share of the Big South title each of the last 3 years, both of them sharing it. And today, a pretty big game for Coastal.
It is a big game. The implications aren't as great as in years past, but there's huge implications for Coastal Carolina to maintain that bye in the first round of the playoffs. And so there's pride always in those cases as well. In any games, really, pride is the biggest factor of all.
Well, Liberty's got a lot on the line here. They want to beat their rivals in Coastal Carolina. Coastal has a great quarterback, though, at their disposal in Alex Ross.
And Alex Ross is their 3-year starter. He's their 2-time captain. He is the lifeblood of this offense, and he's very fortunate to have a nice running game that supports him so that when he comes out on the field, there's not as much pressure on him. All he has to do is really manage the football game and to not make mistakes with the football, which he's done all season long.
On the other side of the ball, Josh Woodrum, 2-time All-Big South selection. He's already passed 10,000 yards in his career.
And it's a little bit different for Josh because their run game has suffered a little bit this year. It hasn't been as good as years past, and so they don't have the balance on their side of the football. So there's a lot more on his shoulders every time he comes out to play a game, every time he comes out for a series. His windows are a little bit tighter, and his opportunities down the field throwing the football are a little less.
You won't find two better quarterbacks in FCS football than these two, both approaching, and in Josh Woodrum's case, exceeding 10,000 career passing yards, two of the best in the Big South. Coastal Carolina will kick off to start this game. The Chanticleers ranked 4th in FCS football. Liberty University and Coastal Carolina have both shared the Big South title the last few years. Liberty going on to the FCS playoffs last season. As you take a look at head coach Turner Gill, his 4th season with the Flames. Former head coach at Kansas, player development coach with the Green Bay Packers. And on the other sideline, Joe Moglia in his 4th season as well. Back-to-back 12-win seasons for Coastal Carolina. Since taking over in 2012, 41-10, including a 38-3 record against FCS teams. Set to go in Lynchburg, Virginia. And you can join us in prime time for Liberty and Coastal Carolina, and away we go. This will be taken out by Damian King. And King getting past the 25 and finally brought down near the 30-yard line. This Liberty offense will go to work with Josh Woodrum, their senior captain, at their disposal.
And for Coach Turner Gill, the main concern for him is the run game. He said they've been very inconsistent, as I talked about in the open. They've had no real explosive plays during the course of this year, and that's what they're really focused on. He believes that if they can run the ball for 150 yards tonight, it'll give them their best opportunity for a victory.
Now the running back to start is Desmond Rice, senior from right here in Lynchburg, Virginia. High snap on the first play from scrimmage, and Rice gets the call, battling his way past the 35. Let's take a look at our impact players here today, and for the Flames, they start with Darren Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson is their leading receiver. He's the guy that is the safety blanket for Josh Woodrum. He's going to have to be effective. He's going to have 6, 7, 8 touches tonight to let this offense continue to move. And Alex Scarce on the other side of the football is their leading tackler from the will linebacker position.
2nd and short for Liberty after a 7-yard gain from Desmond Rice. It's Rice again, and he's got enough for the first down, crossing the 40.
And I like to see that. Coach Gill talked about wanting to run the football, but a lot of times those are empty words where coaches aren't comfortable, especially this late in the season when they haven't been successful. So to be able to back it up on these first 2 downs is what I like to see, because that helps his quarterback, gets his quarterback settled in, takes pressure off of him, and will through the course of this game if they can keep it up.
Liberty's trying to clinch their 10th straight winning season. And they make no mistake. They consider Coastal Carolina a bitter rival. Rice again. This time rumbling down near the 45. Now for Coastal Carolina, one of the, I guess, uneven parts of their game this season, Brian, has been the defensive side of the ball. They've been strong in some areas, and they've had a couple mistake-prone games in others.
Yeah, offensively, they're very, very strong across the board, but defense, they're pretty average. And Coach Gill alluded to that he feels like they're vulnerable. They give over 400 yards total offense. They give up over 170 rushing the football. So he thinks that they're going to be able to move the football on the ground, which he thinks is the key to success.
Well, this time off the fake. Woodrum looking to pass. And he's got Thomas Kelly.
And that's a perfect setup for Josh Woodrum. 2 or 3 runs. Tightens down that defense quite a bit. Then a little play action, a little half roll, little waggle to the boundary. Nice, clean 10-yard throw in the passing game. Really getting things kicked off on all cylinders. Puts them in a 3rd and short, very manageable position.
Liberty crossing midfield. And a 3rd and short for the Flames. Good on 3rd down situations all year long. Rice on the carry, and he pounds his way past the 1st down marker. Liberty already showing their prowess on the ground. We talked about Darren Peterson as our impact player, but Desmond Rice, 8 rushing touchdowns this season, over 600 yards on the year coming in.
And Rice, he's a guy right here from Lynchburg, missed all last year because of injuries. A little bit smaller. He's only 5'8", 195-pound guy. Not your middle inside the tackle runner. Very elusive, though. Very low to the ground. Great misdirection.
On 1st down, Woodrum looking deep. Got his man at the 25 and sliding down to the 15. Cannon Smith on the grab, the tight end. And Liberty is well positioned now for their first strike in the end zone.
Just really see Woodrum in a nice little rhythm. Beautiful ball right over the shoulder. Cannon Smith, 6'4", 255 tight end, makes the finesse catch right down the middle of the field.
28-yard grab for Cannon Smith. Got his first start of the year 2 weeks ago against Presbyterian. And a big chunk to set up Liberty inside the 20. 1st down for the Flames. Rice on the ground, finds a seam, and Rice trying to pass the 15-yard line, got outside the numbers, but got gang-tangled from there.
Well, the defensive coordinator, Carlton Carlin, for the Coastal Carolina, must be thinking, what is going on? This cannot be what we planned on seeing, because they have not done this all year long, running the ball this consistent, especially this early in the football game, and it really just appears like they've got Coastal surprised and on their heels.
It's interesting. In talking with Turner Gill this week, that is one thing they really wanted. They wanted to get this run game going, and so far, there hasn't been anything in their way. 2nd and 5 from the 14. Little misdirection and a jet sweep. Peterson spins his way down to the 11.
And that's just as good as throwing him a football. Getting him to touch the football, getting him in space is a bonus for this offense. Coach Gill talked about the run game being the priority. He felt like, as I said, 150 yards would give them their best chance. He also knows that special teams, where they've suffered in this year all year long, they've got to win in special teams, and mainly on 3rd downs. He talked about winning defensively and offensively on 3rd down. That's going to be the big key for them tonight.
Mark him down at the 10. 3rd and short for the Flames. Darren Peterson, bottom of your screen. Rice got the 1st down.
Man,
How about Desmond Rice early on here?
Well, I talked about all the pressure on Woodrum's shoulders to come out here and try to move this offense. He's basically had to do nothing in this opening series, which I'm sure he is relieved to know that it's not on him. And to be able to see Rice just really holding the torch and bringing him down the field single-handedly is a great relief for him, I'm sure.
1st and goal for Liberty. Rice already with 6 carries, carrying the bulk of the workload on this first series, and a timeout.
Timeout, Liberty. Their first timeout and a half.
On the ground for the most part, Desmond Rice has had a lot of the early work, and this is Rice on the pitch. Rice with a blocker, and Rice to the goal line. Touchdown, Liberty. Rice.
Well, if you're head coach Turner Gill, if you had to write out the script for your opening drive, this would be it. This is what they have lacked all year long, of being able to run the football and to take it and drive it right down the throat of this Coastal Carolina defense is huge for momentum and confidence for this offense.
How about the Flames marching downfield almost unabated? And John Lunsford on for the extra point. It's good. Liberty Flames with a 10-play, 71-yard drive, and Desmond Rice to pay dirt. Liberty with the early lead over their arch rivals. Their capacity crowd in Lynchburg, big FCS rivalry in the Big South. Liberty trying to knock down Coastal Carolina's bid for a first-round bye in the FCS playoffs. Alex Faust, Brian Kinchin here with you. Coastal Carolina has yet to do very much offensively. Alex Ross looking to pass. Got his man past the 40. Catch made by Chris Jones. And a big completion for Coastal Carolina. That was the one thing lacking in the first quarter.
Talking about limiting those explosive plays. Coach Turner Gill talked about that. But it was a good job of execution on the post route. And Ross hitting it in stride.
Ross well protected, looking long again, but out of the reach of Chris Jones. For Coastal, one of the more balanced offenses in FCS football. 200 yards passing and 200 yards rushing on 4 separate occasions this year. But Brian, the run game has been shut down earlier.
They hadn't, and Coach Gill had talked about facing Henderson. He said he's the best running back that we will face all year. Had great things to say about his abilities all across the board.
On second down, this time it's kept by Ross. And Ross scampers past the 45 for a first down.
And Ross will move the football with his legs. He's not overly proficient at it, but he is very good at it. He's very elusive. He's got some quicks, but he likes to sit in that pocket and wheel the football around the field with his arm.
He'll mark his knee down at the 46. 4 receivers to choose from on first down. Henderson cuts it back, looks to the sideline, and is near the marker. 9-yard pickup for D'Angelo Henderson, and if they can get him going, I mean, that's a big game changer for this Coastal offense.
And that's what makes him so dangerous. He does not have anything at the point of attack, but he's got that low center of gravity. Again, another 5'8" back, 205 pounds, and he can change direction on a dime.
On second down from the 38. Catch made at the 30. And bowling his way down, losing his helmet, is Chris Jones once again.
And that's a good glimpse of what they do really well. Just like most quarterbacks, getting the ball out of your hand quick. The shorter the amount of throw, the higher the percentage of completion. And that's what Ross does really well, what he's done really well all season long in the passing game, turning that short passing game really into a run game.
16-yard completion to Chris Jones, coming off a career high last week. 131 yards for Jones. First down for Coastal. Henderson stopped in the backfield. And tackled for a loss by Uzwihe, one of the captains on this squad.
He is the heart and soul of that defense at his right end position. And I talked about him earlier. He's a sack machine. He has 15 tackles for loss on the year. He's all over the football field, very quick and a very powerful defender.
1-yard loss. Ross looking deep. And it is caught for the touchdown. Chris Jones again and again in tight coverage. Coastal is an extra point away from leveling things.
Really good placement where only his guy could get it, and Holloway, number 6, just doesn't pick up on it soon enough. And Jones does a really good job of high pointing the football and really stealing away that touchdown throw.
Well, this is unconventional from Coastal. They're going to go for 2. Oh, and it's botched. Ball is loose. Liberty's got it. Joe Moglia going for 2, and the play blows up right at the snap. Coastal Carolina breaks through, but in their attempt to get an extra, Liberty shuts it down. 1-point game now in Lynchburg. First down for the Chumps. Henderson cuts it back. Henderson's got daylight. D'Angelo Henderson all the way. Touchdown, Coastal Carolina.
Looks like they were saving up all of those run attempts for the big long one. Really good job of finding the opening. A good job of blocking downfield by his wide receivers, and really virtually untouched all the way to the end zone.
And a 71-yard score for D'Angelo Henderson. His 14th rushing touchdown of the year. And of course, we've already seen a 2-point conversion attempt from Coastal. Trying to make it a 2-touchdown game. Ross is still out on the field.
Seems to be a lot of confusion about what they're supposed to be doing. I don't know if anybody really knows.
Joe Moglia has a couple of timeouts in his back pocket, elects not to use them. Coastal going for 2 again. Ross rolling, looking for someone, and it's hauled in for the 2-point conversion. Well, if once you fail, try again. Frankie Richardson hauling this in. And Coastal Carolina, the 4th-ranked Chanticleers, have made it a 14-7 lead. 2nd and 7 from the 29. Little misdirection, and Ross on a keeper, sniffed out immediately. And that's Jerron Green on the tackle.
And Green does a good job of being patient, holding the press, and giving him nowhere to go with the football, because even though that's not your conventional option-looking play, it is. You have responsibilities, whether it's quarterback or running back or pitch guy. You have to stick with them to shut down the option.
Coastal 0 for 2 on 3rd down. Ross looking to the sideline, but Tyrell Blanks slipped on the turf. It's incomplete, and a 3-and-out for the Chanticleers.
Well, really the first really poor effort that we've seen by Ross on the night, and it was way inside a couple of yards, gave his receiver no chance for that football at all.
Evan Raybon on to punt it, the freshman in Florence, South Carolina. Only once really this year has an opponent attempted a punt return against Coastal. No attempt one here. Zach Parker spun down inside the 40. Craig White on the tackle. Opening 94 seconds of the second half here. Now Liberty, despite having a dominant first quarter and the game's first score, have looked a bit stagnant since. And Brian, it seems like this offense has kind of lost its rhythm.
And we talked about it, that time of possession is somewhat deceiving in the sense that, yeah, they had the football, they ran the ball well, they scored on the opening drive, very, very well executed drive. It was 10 plays, and then they had a couple of 9-play drives, but they got nothing out of it.
So we'll start here 1st and 10 from their own 38. Woodrum, quick out route. A quick completion to Darren Peterson. We saw virtually nothing of him in the first half.
And we were calling for it, and they obviously have seen the same issue and really coming out looking like they used to on film last couple of weeks, really liking to throw the football around the field and to really kind of open up the run game via the pass as opposed to what they did early in the first part of this ball game.
Only 1 catch on the first down after 6 last week. 2nd and 4. Rice busts through a tackle, and Rice past midfield.
Well, really executed well. Big number 67, Michael Henderson, coming around the edge from his left guard position, sealing that off. and have guys that are that big. He's 290 pounds, and on the other side of the football at right guard is Campbell, who's 325 pounds. Those guys have to be fast and quick to play that position, but the size is incredible for those guys.
Potentially Desmond Rice's last game wearing a Liberty uniform. First down for the Flames. Woodrow over the middle, complete to Cannon Smith.
And Smith with his second reception on the night. He only has 11 for the season. Totally left uncovered in that zone coverage right over the middle. The linebackers just vacated that hook to curl zone. And credit Woodrum for being able to see that and deliver it with quite a bit of ease.
20-yard catch for Cannon Smith. Coming into tonight, only had 11 catches on the season. Here's Peterson on the handoff. Read well and tackled for a loss by Cameron Summers. Loss of 3 for Peterson. And this Liberty run came using Desmond Rice and Todd Macon, adding Darren Peterson to the ledger. Rice in the backfield, and Peterson the lone wideout. Woodrum on a keeper, pitching this to Rice and going nowhere. Followed his blockers, and then Rice ran into a pile.
Well, I just talked about the option and trying to defend the option, and it's basically just assignment football. Someone has the quarterback, someone has the down guy, and someone has the pitch man. And obviously, Cameron Summers, number 20, had the pitch guy, did a very good job of just staying with it, shutting it down, and really giving him a very difficult third and long.
B.J. Farrow, the freshman, in motion. On 3rd and 16, Rice on the completion. Stutter stepping past the 20 and is down close to the first down marker. Gain of at least 15. If they give him the 16th, it's a first down for Liberty.
Well, Clayton Carlin, the defensive coordinator, was content to drop back into zone and give them the underneath throw. The problem is they gave them a little bit too much. And so now they have a decision to make on 4th and very, very, very short.
Well, based on the spot, it looked like he was well short, as they'll bring out the chains to measure. And that indeed is the case.
And that's generally the ideal on 3rd and long is you can sometimes bring pressure, but most coaches elect to play zone and let them beat you underneath. But you can't give away big chunk explosive plays, if you will, to refer to a phrase by Turner Gill, who said they need to be able to maximize those offensively and shut them down defensively. And now it looks like they're going to go in and roll the dice on the 4th down.
Well, this goes back to what you were saying in our open. You got nothing to lose if
That's
you're
exactly right. You're taking down the champ.
Yep.
Just bring the haymakers, baby.
4th and 1, and it's a full 1 yard. Woodrum, keeper, got it.
Wow, that seemed like a long time for me up here in the booth. I can't imagine sitting on the sidelines and trying to call that play and hoping that it works out. But there was a lot of hesitation on the part of Woodruff. I don't know if he got mixed up or if that was part of the design of the play. Certainly very unusual, but yes, it worked.
Well, they faked the handoff, and that drew the blockers forward.
There you go.
1st and 10 from the 14. Cannon Smith, the tight end, in motion. Pitch this to Rice. Rice busting through a tackle, getting inside the 5. And Rice, with that little hesitation, that little stutter step, it's a 1st and goal for Liberty.
Well, again, just doing a very good job of bringing those big linemen out in front of the play. Pulling your center and your right guard, Campbell and Burgess, getting right out in front and just really sealing off the edge there giving them a huge opening in the inside of that defense and taking advantage of it with some hard running.
Rice got about half the carries in the first half for Liberty. He's seen all of them except for one on this drive. First and goal. Woodrum rolling, looking to the end zone, but well covered. Intended for Darren Peterson. Karan Johnson was in the face of Peterson in the end zone.
I like that call. I like play action in early downs near the end zone, especially when you get up in that two tight end look and give the appearance that you're going to run the football. It's a great way to get an easy conversion, but credit Coastal Carolina for being disciplined in their assignments and staying with their man coverage down in the end zone and shutting it off.
Woodrum under center. Here's Rice on the carry. Coastal once again at the point of attack, able to get to Rice. Haven't been too many times they've been able to save that. And now on the 12th play of the drive, critical third down for Liberty.
And really needs 6 on this drive. It would be a huge confidence booster for them. And a team that doesn't run the football very well on third and goal from the 2 or 3, that's a tall order.
Peterson in motion. Woodrum looking, end zone, touchdown, Liberty. Will Johnson on the grab.
And Will Johnson, their backup tight end, he's 6'6", 255. Same play they tried earlier on first down and were unsuccessful. But Aaron Stam, the offensive coordinator, has no problem going back to the same play. Really, I think a very gutsy call in that situation.
Johnson's first touchdown of the season. Anatage. Well, we'd expect nothing less between these two. Big rivals in FCS football, and the tight end getting the job done. 14-0. What a game in Lynchburg. Coastal Carolina taking the lead late over Liberty. Alex Faust, Brian Kinchin here with you, our outstanding ESPN crew. Well, this series, again, it has not disappointed tonight. 6 wins, 6 losses for each side. Last 2 have been tight ones coming down to field goals. And for Coastal Carolina, they played a lot of tight games already this season. They can add another one to the ledger tonight. Under 4 minutes to go. And Liberty going to be asked to produce something once again against their arch rivals. From the 2. No running space for Jeremy Peters. Big hit delivered after a very short gain. Tackle made by Kenneth Daniels, the junior. And now Liberty starting at their own 15. 3 minutes, 54 seconds, and 85 yards to cover.
Well, if we haven't seen all the stops pulled out of that offense yet, guess what? We're fixing to see it.
Yeah.
Because you talk about really has nothing to lose at this point. You're down 4. You've got to have a touchdown to win this football game. So we're going to see some fireworks hopefully here in a minute.
Turner Gill, head coach, and offensive coordinator Robert Wimberly. What will they draw up? Woodrum scrambling. Caught at the 30. Cannon Smith yet again when they've needed a mid-range completion. Smith has delivered tonight.
Well, you got to love the tight end. That's near and dear to my heart, a position I played in all of my career in the NFL. And this guy's really stepping up. We talked about how he only had 11 catches coming into this football game. That's his 3rd on the night.
And each one has had a decent amount of significance to it. First down at the 30 for Liberty. Swing pass, Parker. Couldn't escape the grasp of Austin Murillo. 3:10 to go and counting.
No reason to be in a huge hurry. No reason to go to the 2-minute offense. Still plenty of time left in this football game. 2 timeouts left on the board. Just need to make sure to continue to give manageable distances for this offense. And you're going to have to push the ball somewhat down the football field. And you can't stick with the running game, keeping them honest in the middle for Coastal.
Desmond Rice in the backfield. Woodrum looking to pass. And it's broken up. Datarius Allen getting a hand in there. The senior breaks up the pass from Josh Woodrum.
And just a hair behind his receiver. Didn't give him much of a chance on that football. But normally a very precise thrower of the football. Definitely seems like 4-down territory, or you could argue punting the football if they don't convert, using their timeouts to stop the clock. But a big down here for Liberty.
Third and 8. Woodrum airs it out, but overthrows Darren Peterson. Tight coverage as well from the Chanticleers, and now a 4th and 8. Keep in mind, Liberty has already burned one of their timeouts. Now this would be tempting fate by going for it here, and Liberty
timeout.
Calls
Liberty.
timeout.
30-second team timeout.
Well, if they were planning on punting it away and trying to use their timeouts to give themselves an opportunity, they just burned half of their remaining timeouts. But that throw on the last play looked like Woodrum got a little bit spooked in the pocket and really kind of got anxious. The pocket seemed to be holding up and had some integrity to it, but he seemed rushed to get it out of his hands and kind of take the shot towards the boundary on the out route, but maybe could have stuck with it and looked for his check down underneath. But now that leaves him with a one-and-done opportunity here. They've got to convert on the 4th and 8 to keep their hopes alive of coming away with the top side of the series.
Yeah. One more meeting between these two, but before Coastal Carolina moves up to the Sun Belt Conference in a couple of years. They'll play again next season. And Liberty, after that third down gone awry, just 2 for 9 this half. And a critical attempt here. 4th and 8 from their own 32. Only 1 timeout remaining for Liberty in this game. Woodrum caught on the run at midfield. Darren Peterson.
Well, you talk about fitting it in. That was as good as it gets right there, on the money. And Peterson, our impact player, making a huge play on 4th and 8 to extend this drive.
How about Woodrum threading the needle there? Short completion this time to Desmond Rice. And Rice still pushing that pile. 5-yard gain, maybe a little extra there.
I love the effort, but those seconds are precious. Get on the ground, man. Get back up. We got to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Under 1:40 to play. Woodrum has a target inside the 20, dodging a tackle. B.J. Farrell to the house.
Guy we have not heard from all night, but once prior to this catch, B.J. Farrow, the redshirt freshman, third leading receiver on this football team with the post route right up the middle of that Coastal Carolina defense for the touchdown to give the Flames a lead in this ball game late.
7-play, 85-yard drive, and a 40-yard catch for the freshman B.J. Farrell. Extra point for John Lunsford. It's good. Liberty leads by 3, under a minute and a half remaining. Flag on the field. We'll check the penalty. And now the pendulum swings back in the Flames' favor.
The try is good. After the play, personal foul, number 72 on the offense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Wow, you talk about an answer. Coastal Carolina has the 83-yard reception on their last drive down the middle of the field to Chris Jones to score the touchdown eventually. Liberty comes right back with one of their own for 40 yards right down the middle of the field with a guy who has done literally nothing all night.
How about the freshman, B.J. Farrell?
What a night for him. What a memory.
Well, hearing from these coaches, they like how he's growing into his role and getting some congratulations from Desmond Rice and Josh Woodrum. A 40-yard catch for the score. And Liberty leads in the waning moments in Lynchburg. Coastal Carolina, all 3 timeouts at their disposal. And yet again, this rivalry has delivered.
What an exciting game. What an amazing night of football here in Lynchburg.
These two teams have shared the Big South title each of the last 3 years. Neither will claim it this season. But you wouldn't know it in this stadium tonight. Shamar Abercrombie back to receive this kick. Abercrombie from the 2. Lots of room. And Abercrombie across the 30. "81 seconds. And Coastal will start from their own 33.
Well, the great thing for Coastal is they're more than likely in the playoffs either way you look at it. This is great seasoning for them. This situation, down 3 in a hostile environment. We talked about the stops being pulled in the offense for Liberty. Obviously, Coastal has got to do the same thing to either force overtime or win this football game.
Ross on first down, completes to Jones over the middle, past the 40. And Jones to the 44. 11-yard gain and a first down for the Chanticleers.
Coastal has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 1:09 left. No need to be in a huge hurry here.
Ross looking over the middle again, just off the hands of Alpha Jallo. Looking for his 4th career interception. And a reprieve for Alex Ross.
Yeah, that one was served up on a platter for Jallo, but he didn't expect it and wasn't able to bring it in. But again, you don't really need to force footballs. Just be patient, take what they give you. You have plenty of timeouts left and plenty of time left on the clock.
On second down, Ross looking to the sideline, overthrows Frankie Richardson. 3rd and 10, Coastal Carolina has struggled on 3rd down tonight.
And that's really been the story of the night. They've had a handful of opportunities, but they haven't been able to convert on virtually all of them, with the exception of maybe
being pushed to the brink by their arch rival. 55 seconds, 3rd and 10 from the 44.
And Liberty's up in press coverage with the safety back in the middle of the field.
Ross, this pass behind Chris Jones, incomplete. And a 4th down. Now keep in mind, Coastal has all 3 timeouts at their disposal, but you don't want to punt this away here. And now Joe Moglia will call timeout to set up a play.
Timeout, Coastal Carolina. their first timeout of the half. 30-second team timeout.
What theater in Lynchburg, and what a tremendous game. Delivering yet again.
Really turned into a defensive struggle.
In the second half, at least.
Yeah.
But then an explosion. Take a look at some of these scores here tonight. We've seen some tremendous plays. Chris Jones with a catch for a touchdown. 71-yard run for D'Angelo Henderson.
And
that gave Coastal Carolina the lead at the time.
Who's our impact player, and then we see the nice play to the tight end on the edge there for the touchdown. And really the big plays have come up the middle of both of these defense, both on post routes late in this second half, that have really been the deciding factor of this football game in the end.
4th and 10, perhaps the deciding play of the game. Ross steps up, and it's incomplete.
Had his receiver underneath. Number 18, Bruce Mapp, their leading receiver, and he just couldn't bring it in. Certainly would have got him the first down and been able to extend that drive and give them a chance.
And how sweet this must be for Liberty. 45 seconds away from clinching their 10th straight winning season and delivering a serious blow to their arch rivals in the final game of the regular season.
Well, really credit to that man, Turner Gill, for getting his team ready. Even though they essentially had nothing to play for other than we talked about earlier in the open about pride.
Timeout. Coastal Carolina. Their second of the half. 30-second timeout.
Coastal Carolina at 9-1. 4-1 in the Big South. Already unable to secure their 4th straight Big South title, or at least a share of it. And on the verge of their 2nd loss this season, right before the FCS playoffs.
And really a defensive struggle from start to finish, as we talked about. It's really not something we expected. We expected these two quarterbacks that have been around these systems for so long, a 3-year starter, a 4-year starter, guys who put up massive numbers throwing the football and in total offense, setting records in the Big South. And you really have to credit both these defenses for really playing well and kind of dictating the outcome of this football game here tonight.
Josh Woodrum, what a way to go out. 2-time All-Big South selection. Joe Muglia calls his last timeout.
Timeout, Coastal Carolina. Their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
And Woodrum talked about in the press conference earlier this week how difficult this game would be, knowing it was his last game with his teammates, and said he would probably drop a few tears by the end of the night once he sees his family. And certainly a memorable night, not only being his last game, but certainly the way that they were able to come and pull out this victory against Coastal Carolina, their bitter rival for so many years.
Coastal Carolina, their last season in the Big South. And Liberty wants to give them a parting gift. Rashad Jennings, Liberty alumnus, in attendance tonight. And what a great game we've seen. One last kneel down for Josh Woodrum.
Woodruff had talked about the meaningful moments that he's had here, and he talked about the win they had in 2013 against Charleston Southern, It propelled them into the 2014 season, gave them their first playoff win. I'm sure that this one ranks right up there with that.
Coastal Carolina might be moving on to the FCS playoffs, but not without one last taste of defeat delivered by their Big South rivals. What a game, Brian. Delivered again. And they rush the field in Lynchburg.
Just nice to be a part of it.
Liberty wins it 24-21 over Coastal Carolina in a thriller in Lynchburg. For our producer, David Harris, for my partner in crime, Brian Kitchen, our entire ESPN crew, this is Alex Faust saying so long from Lynchburg, Virginia. First Take, Retake coming up next on ESPN News. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Until next time, bye for now.